Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be practicing some gesture drawing and anatomy because I wanted to work on some and try to get it into a daily routine because like a week I'll do it and then I think I've said it before in another video, but yeah, I'm trying to get a daily routine. So today I'll be practicing that. And I also have a few art pieces coming, so I want to make a few updates about that and then just the goals that I set earlier this year. So this video is going to kind of be about my goals and then just to talk and chat with me while I practice some anatomy and any advice I can give for gesture drawing as well. But, so I've been working on a few pieces. I've been trying to incorporate environments more into my drawings, so the drawings are taking a little bit longer, which is totally okay though. I'm not too hard on myself about deadline, but, they're taking a little bit longer, but I am getting more practice with environments and like rocks, grass, terrains, everything like that. So I would say if you are afraid to practice anything or you think that you are not capable of doing so, give it a try. That's the only way you're going to get better. Literally, I spent like 2 or 3 hours trying to shade rocks correctly yesterday because I was struggling so much. So even though it was really hard, it just taught me that I need to practice more with environments, and now I know. So and you can kind of flip it around and see it more as a positive than a negative. So I've been working on that, and also I've been working on, early this year I think I set 3 goals, to create a V2 model, to finish a few art courses, and then to get better at shading and anatomy, or like shading clothing. And so I am working on the shading clothing, I'm getting better at that, I'm practicing anatomy, and then the V2 model, I've also been working on that project as well, which is another project that takes a lot of time, but it has been really fun, and I'm excited to finish it and prepare it and get it ready to go. I do have to rig it. I'm thinking I do know how to rig a little bit with Live 2D, so I may do a VTuber showcase, but I may have someone else rig it as well. I'm thinking about who should rig it, but I just have to finish the artwork, which I am getting closer to finish, so I'm really excited for that. So we are halfway around, I think, yeah, we're halfway through the year. Today's the 2nd, I believe, we're halfway through the year. So if this is just a reminder for people, in the video that I did where I talked about my goals, I don't know if anyone set any other goals, but if you did set goals and you did come from that video, or if you just want to set goals now, I would say we're halfway through the year. Definitely set goals now if you want to set any. This is the perfect time. Really, any time is the perfect time. It's never too late. But if you want to get back into drawing, want to practice a little bit, set your goals now, because we still have like another 6 months before the end of the year. So this is the perfect time. Besides that, probably just the other goals is for the channel to grow and such. But besides all the updates like that, besides the art coming and then the V2 model coming and just more practicing anatomy and trying to get that into there, I did want to give some advice for gesture drawing and learning to become more comfortable, because it's like, I feel like some days you can be kind of more prepared or ready to work on your artwork and feel really good about it and practice and be on it, and then other days you're kind of like slugging along. And so for me personally, in this practice that I was doing for gesture drawing, like I actually was kind of, I want this channel to be like organic and authentic, so I actually was gonna skip out on this video, but I decided, you know what, I want to give an update and I want people to see like the struggles, and that I can make decent artwork but I still struggle, and that I still need to work on things in my own drawings. And even though I try to practice a lot every day, there's still things that I can do better, even if like, I think if you try your best, you're doing a great job, but there's always going to be something that you could do better, so you can't be too hard on yourself. And with this, I was kind of, at first I was a little bit mad, and then I got annoyed, but once I decided, you know what, I'm just going to practice anatomy and upload it anyway, that kind of like took so much pressure. And this can even go out to people that want to start a YouTube channel, even if it's not artwork or anything like that. Just try your best and don't put so much pressure on yourself to get these gesture drawings if you're going to do gesture or anatomy. Unless you're going to do, I would say, like, if you're going to do focused anatomy practice of like a single body parts, I would try to get that as best as you can. But if you're doing gesture drawings or simple things like this, where I kind of was just trying to get the basic shape and some idea of how the body works, I would suggest just taking it more relaxed and easy. And also I would suggest timing yourself. Giving yourself, I would say, like 10-20 minutes for each drawing. It can seem like a long time, but once you actually do it, like that time passes so quickly. So I want to get quicker at drawing sketches and gestures, and so I want to start focusing on that as well. And I think the anatomy and gestures will kind of combine together. So I decided to pick around, I would say if you were going to practice, I would pick around 4 or 5 images, put them in whatever program you're going to use. For example, Clip Studio Paint, Procreate. I use a variety. I use like 3 or 4. I use IBS Paint, Clip Studio, Procreate. But I like recording in Procreate because it's easy to do anatomy studies in there. But I use Procreate to do the studies. So I would say find some good reference images, make sure they're well lit. Do not have reference images that you cannot see that well, unless I would say you're an experienced artist. But if you're a beginner, or like I would say even intermediate, you don't want images that are too dark because then you won't be able to see the shape as well. So I picked these, and also be aware of AI art. I am aware that some of these are made, I believe, from AI art, you can kind of tell, but I am not looking to do an in-depth anatomy study of a certain body part. So I decided I'm just going to use them anyway, and they're not totally wrong. Like, there are some things that I see where, like, for example, the hands on the top left image, they're not correct, and then there's another part that's not correct. But you can kind of, once you get better and once you learn more anatomy, you can kind of see what's wrong and you'll know. But for the most part, the anatomy is actually decent and it's enough to follow. These images, even if some of them were made from AI, they give me enough information to know more about the human body and to actually learn something. So that's why I decided to use them anyway in this practice session that you are watching with me. So I decided to do that, and then also make sure you have a variety of poses. Now, if you're gonna do, I would say, you can do like a certain category of like, let's say you do female poses, you do poses standing up, or you do poses sitting down. You can do that, but I always like mixing it up. And so, for example, I have a person sitting down, a person standing like front facing, just with showing like muscles and everything, and then I have a girl kind of in a, I would say in a unique position, in a dynamic, that's what I would say, dynamic position. And then to the image all the way to the right, you'll see later with a few, I think there's like 4 or 5 different poses. The image is not well, you could see that it's kind of like quick gesture drawing like I'm doing, and so I picked one of them because it can be, do not, I would say, when you're doing gesture drawings and anatomy practices too, especially in the beginning, you do not want to overwhelm yourself with how much work you don't want to overwhelm yourself with how many poses. Like if you set your goal to do 10, that can easily take up to 2 or 3 hours. If you are a beginner, or if you are even are experienced, it can take a long time. Like these poses took me around an hour, I think, and I traced them too. Another tip I would suggest is, some people say that tracing isn't good, or like I wouldn't trace I wouldn't trace in general, but for anatomy practice, I think it's specifically for anatomy practice, I think tracing could be useful if you trace the outline and then you do a study of it drawing on your own like freehand. That can help a lot, especially in the video. You can see, if I think in the beginning of the video, there was the part where later, this girl's leg, I trace out her leg and like the curvature to get a better understanding, and then I go back and then I try to freehand it, and that helps me understand the body language and like the body shape. And so doing small things like that really can help you. So that's the advice that I would definitely, that I would recommend for doing any gesture and anatomy practice. And whether it be 30 minutes or 15 minutes, I would say at least 30 an hour. I wouldn't say 15. I know some people say to do 15 minutes to practice, but I feel like that's too little time for me, and I feel like I need way more. And if I feel like I'm rushed, I don't like feeling rushed. So if you're like that person where you don't want to be rushed, or like you don't like the feeling of that, I would say at least set aside 30 minutes to an hour every day to do these gesture and anatomy practices. But if you can't make it a day, that's totally okay. Like for me, like I said, I have a drawing that I'm trying to upload every week on YouTube, drawings that I'm trying to upload, trying to finish the V2 model that I'm working on, and then doing anatomy practice. Like that can all add up to like at least 5 hours of practicing art very quickly, even more, like 8. So do not overplate yourself too much, or not put too much on your plate. But once you get, I would say, since I've gotten used to it, I can kind of manage it all and like figure out how much time I should spend on each and such. But if you are going to practice multiple things, or if you're looking to achieve multiple goals and get better in artwork, whether that be in anatomy, creating a project of your own, watching a course, do not put too much on, or don't get too many resources at once. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. So artwork will be on the channel soon. I'm going to finish up some soon, and then, like I said, the V2 model will hopefully be finished in the next month or 2. So that will be up too, and then I'll rig it and such. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, like and subscribe down below. And if you want to check out my artwork, check out my socials in the description down below. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.